So I definitely knew that Reese was going to come during the wedding, but like honestly, I'm glad he did. Let me start with my thoughts from the beginning. I really appreciate that like Farah is struggling and not just like, oh, I did all of this, went through all of this, and like as if nothing happened. Like I do really appreciate that like she is written to like be struggling, because obviously someone would be struggling after that. And it's very frustrating the fact that Tamlin and Lucian are not doing anything about it, and that she purely is just trying to like get married just to get everything out of the way and to like maybe not feel as bad as she's feeling for a second. But also like the fact that no one listened to her with the red roses, and they put red rose petals down, and it's like traumatizing to her. And the fact that like she's shaking and she's constantly like, that's not how you should go through a wedding. So like the fact that Reese came down and was like, this is the moment I'm gonna use to bring her for my bargain. Honestly, good for him for doing that, because like she needed an out. This is not like, being in that headspace is not good. So like the fact that like no one cared and no one really took her out of that was annoying and like rude. But the fact that like Reese came during this time and he was like, actually I'm gonna take you now, good for him. He got her out of that. At least that's all I read. He just showed up and is trying to take back the bargain, or not take back the bargain, but like start the bargain. So yeah, I'm literally just started this book. I started it last night, read a chapter, and then I'm continuing it today. Got radar here. The vibes are immaculate. I'm playing, after recording this, I'm playing like very fantasy vibey music. Don't lick my blanket. My candle's burning back there. The windows are open because it's like 65 degrees outside, and it's beautiful. And the vibes are immaculate right now. I wanted to update y'all since I haven't really talked to the camera since Friday, and I wanted to update you on where I've been, what I've read, just give like a little thing of my thoughts. I read Friday. I did read like a chapter on Saturday and a chapter on Sunday. I just didn't really read this weekend, but I did read quite a bit today on the path, and then also on my break, and of course on the path again going home. But I figured I would chat with y'all about it, so I'll make up my book real quick. So first of all, right now I am on chapter 15. I'm on page 144. Thoughts leading up to this, okay, so I had an inkling from like just how I felt from the last book from ACOTAR, that like she won't end up fully with Tamlin, that like something was gonna happen. And it was almost like she just went for the first person she came across in Prithian. So I'm not surprised that they're having issues, but it was like really frustrating how Farah has all of this trauma from under the mountain, and it's like they're completely ignoring her and ignoring her trauma from that and everything she went through. Obviously all of the Fae knew about this, grew up knowing that this is real, and she didn't even really believe the fairy tales, the myths, and everything. And then she literally had to go through the worst of it for this. And I think they're all forgetting that like that's a lot to take in general, but the fact that like she also went through what she went through, and ACOTAR was like yeah, she's probably has PTSD from that, and everyone's just completely ignoring her, and it's very frustrating. So when Tamlin just like kept refusing to let her go outside, not recognizing that like she feels claustrophobic and locked up because of her time under the mountain, and like him saying, oh, you can't leave the grounds, is not helping. I got so annoyed when he just honestly made it feel like only he was the one with trauma from under the mountain and not Feyre. And it was like one of those things where he was undermining what she was feeling, and I've been through something like that, and it's not fun. So that was extremely frustrating, and it was almost felt like a personal sigh of relief when Rhysand came to collect his due for the month finally for the wedding, and when he came again, and it was like, thank you, like someone is paying attention to how this girl is feeling, because that's ridiculous. Like he literally just left her alone and let her just like rebuild and relax for once. And finally, when the scene happened, when Tamlin just completely had this huge outburst at Feyre, and then Feyre, of course, finally started showing some more of her powers, I was like, you cannot believe that. It was very, I don't really have words for that. But then, of course, when Tamlin just like decided to lock her in the house, that was just completely ignoring everything she had just told him, that she was literally drowning, and then he goes, I'm gonna lock you in the house, like you can't leave. Just like that, those are some real red flags right there. The fact that like, one, he didn't recognize or didn't even like choose to talk with her about it, and that he's just pretending that she doesn't know, and she doesn't need to know that like now that everything's fine, and that he's like basically treating her like she's a dumb princess, and I hate that. And so when they locked her in the house, and she just, honestly, I couldn't really picture it very well, but like when she just went into darkness and Mor came to save her and bring her to Rhysand, was again another just weight off my chest as a reader. I was like, thank God that someone is listening and someone is paying attention to this poor girl. Oh my God. And now that that's kind of almost as far as I got to chapter 15, but still, it's like, guys, like, do not ignore what she's been through. She's honestly been through so much worse since like she's just brand new to this whole situation. You guys are like not helping whatsoever. Again, as I was saying at the end of the ACOTAR, which watched the video before this if you want to see my reactions from ACOTAR, I was starting to like Rhysand because he actually like pays attention and listens to Feyre, unlike Tamlin, who just is like paid attention to her more when she was a human than like now. I'm just rooting for her to not stay with Tamlin at the moment. Like I don't know if I want her to be in a relationship with Rhysand or if I want them to just be really good friends, because right now I'm like 50-50 about how I feel about which way they want that to go. So those are all of my thoughts up to chapter 15. Hopefully I'll have more, like, talk more to the camera a little bit. I am traveling soon, so I have a feeling I'm gonna read quite a bit of this book, and maybe even I probably will finish this book and start ACOWAR? Yeah, A Court of War and Ruin on my trip. So this might be a quick read through on this one. That's all the updates. Okay, focus. And just like I freaking thought, I might have fallen in love with the first thing that showed me a hint of kindness and safety. Called it. Poor Vera, oh my god. I wanted to update y'all because I read quite, I read quite a bit. Keep whacking radar in the face. I traveled, and so I read like a lot on the plane, and then I didn't read when I was at the place I was traveling to, and then I read a lot. So I just wanted to go over just my thoughts because I've read quite a bit since I actually last spoke to y'all. Honestly, I think the last time I actually spoke to y'all was when Tamlin locked Feyre in the house, and that was like right here, and now I'm like almost at the end of the book. Like I have about 100 pages left. So I want to go over everything that I had thoughts on in the middle section. So I ended up having to like look back through because again, I read a lot in like the span of my flights, so it was like I had to go back and remember actually what I read. Very like vague notes about some things I wanted to speak on. So first of all, again, I went on a full-on rant about how I was really pissed about Feyre being locked up. So I'm so happy that someone noticed and finally broke her out of Tamlin's house in the Spring Court. And I thought that it was really not heartfelt, but like genuine that they made sure to do it by the book so they wouldn't get in trouble, but that they were trying to do it for their own good, for Feyre's own good, because she was sickly. And this kind of leads into my next point, that like absolutely no one was noticing or no one was doing anything about the fact that she looked sickly and she was doing terribly and she was screaming and waking up in the middle of the night and throwing up and all of these things. But Moore and Rhys made sure to get her out of there because they knew she was struggling. And that just like really, it really felt like, it just really made an impact to know that like someone was caring for her. And it just like made it even better that they were like, we have to make sure we're doing it by the book. Like, we want to save her, but like we also don't want to get in trouble for her to like go right back to the spring court for that. Also, I was like so mad that no one, it was not that like no one noticed, like obviously some people noticed, but like the fact that no one did anything about it was made it even worse. Of course, I finally got introduced to Dolores, and the only way, like, I feel my heart like pulls to the city, like my heart pulls to that area for some reason. It just feels like home, and it sounds like just this beautiful dream that I wish I could be in. Just like the city, the vibe, everything. And I just wanted to reread Feyre being introduced to Dolores, actually getting to enjoy it for the first time. And I don't know, it was like a breath of just the cleanest fresh air. Just being able to read about that was so nice. And of course, her being able to finally meet Cassian, Azriel, Mort, and Amren officially, and actually getting to know them was so sweet. And like actually feel like she had real friends for the first time, and not just some people who conveniently were there to make her feel less alone while she was in court. And I loved that they all treated her like an actual person and not like this fragile being, because even though she wasn't even that way, but that was just how people were treating her in the spring court. My next point is Feyre has started to hone in on her powers that she gained from all of the High Lords when she turned High Fae and was reborn. So I'm very interested to see if she's going to be honestly one of the most powerful beings, because she has every High Lord's, like, oh my god, every like a glimpse of every High Lord's power. So I'm really interested to see how that grows throughout the next few books. But again, I know I stated in my reading vlog for ACOTAR that like I really don't like when someone just conveniently happens to gain the power and then automatically wins. Like I enjoyed that Feyre in the last book didn't gain the powers until after she defeated them, and now she's like actually taking the time to practice and hone her skills. It's not going to be like convenient for her to just like, she needs to actually practice. So I really enjoy that. They visited the summer court, and that court seems very high and mighty of themselves. It just feels like they think that they're the best out of everyone, even though they're not. It gave off the vibe that they just like feel like they're above everyone else, but they're honestly not. I have been absolutely loving the slow burn between Rhys and Feyre. I love that like he never takes it any further than Feyre wants to take it. He will, like, if Feyre decides to take it a step further, he will level that, but he will never go past where she's comfortable, and I love that. And I was loving it before I got to the part that I'll mention in a minute. But I just like really appreciate that like slow burn, subtle, like not always subtle flirting, but like it's just banter always happening that's like also like it just makes you smile. Like it's something that not kind of like in a real relationship where you're like in your honeymoon phase, but that's continuing, and that's not just honeymoon phase, that's just them being friends. So I've been really loving that. And then of course it got to them in the Court of Nightmares, where Feyre had to act like she was Rhys's whore, and just them interacting kind of like almost like crossing the line of like they both wanted to, but they had to do it for show. But then Feyre was like, wait a minute, I actually really want this. And Rhys was really playing with her, obviously putting on a front, but also like he's wanting it too. So then there's that, and again, this is the slow burn that's been happening all along. And of course we get to Starfell. Before we get to that, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention, but then when Feyre started arguing with Rhys, I just like, it felt like out of nowhere. So I don't know if that was just me reading it too quickly, that I didn't see it coming, but like I felt like she's also like really guarded, and then she sees something good happening and immediately wants to put a stop to it or like find an issue with it. So I feel like that might be the reason why. And then of course Starfell comes and they kind of make up. Honestly, I love the dress. I had to look up some photos for it because I thought that dress must have been so beautiful, but it's really hard for me to picture like what in the world hit Feyre in the face, because all I can think of is glow-in-the-dark paint is what it looked like afterwards, but I can't picture like what it was that came down from the sky and actually like hit her in the face, and then she started to glow, and then Rhys also got hit and he started to glow. So I have no clue what it was, but it was just really hard for me to picture that. And then two more things is that finally, obviously lots more happen, and the Suriel, however you say that, Feyre captures it so she can find out how to heal Rhys. And I love how the Suriel is like, I will only answer one or two questions, and then he answers the questions, and then he's like, actually I'm gonna tell you like all this other stuff, because even though I said I'm not, I will. And I just love how the Suriel is always like, actually, even though I said I can't, I'm gonna do that anyway. And then of course he spills the beans and tells Feyre that Rhys and Feyre are mates. And honestly, at this point, if she couldn't tell, I don't know what to say. She's been very guarded and back and forth, of course, with her emotions, but I don't know how she couldn't notice that pull that she has, not just through the bond, but just like a pull that she has with Rhys. And then the fact that she got like, not like upset with him, that, I mean, obviously she got upset with him for not telling her, but also, again, he was taking it at the pace she wanted to take it, and he didn't want to force it, which I really appreciate, because like, say like he was out here being like, you're my mate, I'm gonna force this with you. I don't think she would have liked that. And I think it's really important that he did it as he did. And although she was upset, I don't think she should have been as upset, especially with the fact that, hello, he's injured like really badly, and she just blows him off and just like, get me out of here. Like, I understand being upset and want to walk away, but like when he's injured like that, no thank you. And one more thing on top of that, and that's as far as I've gotten so far, but I also really do appreciate that it's the guy that gets injured, as in Rhys, and then Feyre has to go and rescue him, as in the girl has to rescue him, and it's not like a damsel in distress situation, which I really appreciate. So now I am officially at chapter, I think I said at chapter 54. Yeah, chapter 54, page 518, about 100 pages left. I'm at the part where Feyre, like Rhys finds Feyre at the safe house and wants to talk with her, and she invites him in because she for sure knows that she wants to be with him, and then they're having a conversation. So I'm really interested to see what happens in this conversation, and honestly what happens at this point in the book, because I don't know where it's gonna go, and I may have just spoiled it for myself, but I found out that A Court of Silver Flames is not the last book in this series. I just saw a TikTok interview with Sarah J. Maas that said that she's working on the next ACOTAR book. So I am concerned for their relationship. I've really shipped them. I really love the arc of their relationship as they've gone through, and I really hope they stay together because I've been loving their relationship. It's so sweet and loving and caring, and they help each other in several ways, and I don't want it to hurt. I don't want it to like go south. So we'll see what happens, but I'm really hopeful. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, I'm absolutely gonna finish my book, but when I was on the subway today, shit fucking happened in the book. Oh my god. they attacked Valoris, the queens, except for the golden hair one. They told them where Valoris was. They told them it existed. And then they fucking attacked it. And then Feyre, of course, like, popped off honey. And so in retaliation, they go to Hybern. And I'm like, when they're, like, not encountering people, it's not that I thought that it was too easy, because, like, some secret op missions are, like, if you go in and you do it right, you won't, like, you'll not run into a lot of people. But I don't know, just, like, in a book, I'm like, it's not feeling right. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel good. Like, I knew something bad was gonna happen, and of course it was purposefully planned like that. And they were stalling. Jurian was stalling them. And then Tamlin? What the fuck? What? This boy, he's a boy, cannot accept that Feyre doesn't like him. That he basically put Feyre in a prison and is not accepting it. Like, he is so manipulative and gaslighting, and he decides to side with the King of Hybern to get her back. Are you... What? What? Oh my god. But anyway, that literally them, like, that's right where I'm at. Is it was just revealed that Tamlin is siding with the King of Hybern right now, and that the King of Hybern told them of their bargain. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna finish my book. Oh my god. Also, one more thing, I really want to insert the video. When I went to work today, it was the torrential downpour in New York City, and Washington Square Park was flooded, so I had to walk through that, and it kept raining, and it was still flooding, like, really bad, especially in Brooklyn. So the place I worked out shut down early, and I got to leave even earlier because they let us go really early. So I've been home for a while, and I took a nap, and now I'm enjoying the cool air coming through the windows, and I am gonna finish this book right now. Come on. Oh, don't give me that. Don't give me that. Let me put my blanket on, weirdo. There you go. Goodness. Oh no, okay. Oh. What the fuck? Lucian. Oh, okay, hello. No. No. So sad. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank god. I really thought he broke the mating bond. I was going to be so upset. Oh my Don't put me through this. Oh my god, I'm so glad I waited until the end to get home to finish this book, because what the hell? That just took me on a range of emotions. Oh my god. The fact that her sisters, like, not only does Tamlin bring in the queens, and by the way, hypocrites of them, because they're like, we don't like fae, but they want to become immortal, and to do that, they have to become fae. And then they bring in her sisters. Are you kidding? And then they have to turn them fae, and oh my god. And then of course Lucian and Elaine are mates. What? I might ship it later. Right now I'm still a little unsure. I did really enjoy Lucian in the first book, and kind of was okay with them in this one, but still upset that like he really supported Tamlin in all of this, and I'm not happy about that. But when Feyre was like, I'm gonna risk my life to save everyone else's, and decided to pretend to break from Rhys's like a mental trap that she had been in the whole time, and that he had pretended to bond with her and all of this. That, and then oh my god, when the King of Hybern broke their bond, I like wanted to die. Oh my god, I didn't want that. And it was agony for a chapter, and then he found out that it was the bargain was broken and not the bond. I'm like, thank god. But also finding out that she was made the High Lady of the Night Court. I love it. And I love this last sentence because it is just perfect. And it says, and so Tamlin unwittingly led the High Lady of the Night Court into the heart of his territory. It's so good. So good. So yeah, quick thoughts about the book. I definitely like it equally or even more than ACOTAR. I definitely think, oh, hi Vidar. Don't lick my blanket, you weirdo. I definitely really love the pacing of this book. It was so like quick pacing. I read a majority of it when I was on a plane, so it was hard to remember some of the things because I had read it so quickly, but I also really enjoyed how, even though the book is huge, it had just really fast pacing. Honestly, like, I've been loving Rhys and Feyre from the beginning, and I was like, ooh, broody male, like blah 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 blah. And they're meeting. Oh my god. I hope none of them die. I hope they don't actually, like, I hope their bond doesn't get broken. I just, like, they need to stay together. And all of Cassian and Azrael and Mor and Elaine and Nesta all need to stay alive. Possibly Lucian. I'm upset with him, but he can stay alive. Tamlin can go to hell. So I'm gonna start ACOWAR tonight, but those are my thoughts. Oh my god. So if you enjoyed this reading vlog, be sure to give a thumbs up, comment down below what your favorite part of ACOMAF is, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see all of the other reading vlogs for ACOWAR, A Court of Mist and A Court of War and Ruin, A Court of Silver Flames, and A Court of Mist and Fury. Or no, that is this one. What is the other one? Give me a second. There we go. A Court of Frost and Starlight. So if you want to see those reading vlogs, make sure to continue subscribe to my channel because I am just reading them in order. And oh my god. That's all I have to say. I will see y'all in my next one. Bye.
2, 3, funky.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.